Hi everyone, this is Dave from Geekanoids and welcome to my Q&A session for the 5th of July 2011. Now in this Q&A I'm going to be answering questions I received via email, via my iPhone, iPad and iPod app, and also that were left in my last Q&A session video. This particular Q&A is sponsored by TechSmart. You can find their channel at youtube.com/TechSmart. Please do check out all of their superb tech videos and also follow at TechSmart on Twitter for regular updates. So on with this Q&A. We're getting some reflection off the glasses here, so I'm going to remove those. I think I can see my screen just about well enough to read all of the questions. Before I do kick off with the questions, a big shout out. Please do go to youtube.com/nextup. I've entered their Next Up program and there's a nice prize, a money prize involved, which obviously I'd be lying if I didn't say that I wasn't interested in winning that money, but a big part of the prize is a 4-day training course and I would absolutely love to win it. So my particular entry is on that youtube.com/nextup page. It's called Make Every Day a YouTube Day, and you can see me with my YouTube t-shirt sort of lying down face up in the little thumbnail. You do have to scroll around all the videos to find me, but I would really appreciate you clicking on that video and wait until the little thumbs up vote now button comes and give it a nice thumbs up for me. That would be absolutely fantastic. So anyway, on with the Q&A. Wow, loads of questions this time. And I'm going to kick off with one from Harry Co4. Great videos, Dave. What is your favourite case for the iPod Touch 4G? Good question. I absolutely love a lot of different cases, but the ones that remained on my devices, both the iPhone 4 and the iPod Touch 4th Gen, were the Pro Porter Quicksilver silicon cases. Now my particular one's blue. It might be, from memory, the only colour they do, but it's well worth checking that one out. I just liked it because of its simplicity. It was very good for protection, very nice in the hand, and also easy to take on and off when you dock the device as well. Next one is from wow, this is a long one. I'll try and answer this one. It's from John T1512. Hi Dave, great Q&A as always. Quick question, do you think MAC address filtering is essential on any home Wi-Fi router? And then he goes on to say that BT doesn't have MAC address filtering, only WPA2 encryption. Do you think it's essential to have this extra layer of security in place? Well, WEP encryption or WPA2 encryption, which is I think a bit more robust than WEP, I think is enough. Also change the standard name of your router so that the wireless connection isn't at the standard name. Also change the standard password as well. A lot of people leave their passwords to username admin and password as password, which is really crazy. So at least go in and change those. But I think WPA2 encryption's enough, really. If you're really worried about it, change the router to something that supports MAC address filtering. But I personally don't do that. Next one is from TechJune. What monitor would you recommend for dual screen in my iMac? Well, I use an Ayama ProLite 24-inch LED backlit monitor. Absolutely superb. I use those in a 2-screen display, so they perfectly match. With regards to your iMac, if you want it to perfectly match, then the Apple Cinema display is probably your only choice. But there are, if you're not worried about it matching, that Ayama one is great. And there are loads of monitors that are absolutely stunning nowadays, but I can recommend that Ayama. I've used it a long time now, I'm very happy with it. So great question there. Next one is from Tamworthian. I need to get a new hard drive for my MacBook Pro. Where should I get one from? Well, a lot of retailers are all the same. If you're in the US or the UK, then Amazon would be fine. If you're in the UK, the company I always buy from is Scan Computers, and you can find them at scan.co.uk. Not affiliated to either of them, it's just who I use for my particular purchases. You have to excuse the lighting gone down, but I was doing this in some nice sort of daylight for you, and all of a sudden a cloud's come down in the middle of the Q&A. Typical weather. Next one is from Fireworks368. Hi Dave, great vids. Thank you very much, Fireworks368. I'm moving to an area with only dial-up. Is there a way to get better speeds? Yes, there is satellite broadband and there is WiMAX. If you search both those out to see if you've got any providers in your area, you will get better speeds. And WiMAX does up to 100 meg connections as well. So well worth giving that a search on Google. Next question is from GND Geek. Hey Dave, what do you think about AMD processors? Well, I used to build a lot of PCs. Actually, going back when I was around about 2021, I did actually have a computer shop. Used to do custom builds then. And from then, I've probably built in the region of about 20 to 30 PCs. And I used to always opt for AMD because they were cheaper processors. Nowadays, the last PC build I did, the big one, was an Intel processor. And I went for that purely because I wanted an Intel Core i7, but the one I did for my daughter was a cheaper build, and I went for the AMD processor, and it performs fine, but I'm not an expert, so you just got to make your choice. If you're really building a high-end one, I would probably stick to Intel processors. So let's move on to the next one. This isn't a question, but Zero Lemonon says the Wii U looks like a joke to me. The controller is way too big and unergonomic, and the console ain't that much more powerful compared to the PS3 and Xbox 360. Really interesting comment actually. He does go on to say a little bit more, but yeah, I sort of agree. It's very gimmicky, the Wii U. I hope it's a success. I like the idea you can use your existing Wii controllers like the Wiimotes and the nunchuck things to control your characters. I like the sort of cross-compatibility thing. Also the fact that it's higher end graphics. So I will be having a look, but I just hope it's not too gimmicky. Stardale02, I was wondering, do you play Minecraft? No, I don't. Super Smash Brothers V2, how did you come up with the name VizBox TV? Well, I was looking at things like Video Box, VideoTube to sort of play on the YouTube name a little bit, and there are so many domain names that are gone or pre-registered, so I came up with Viz to sort of stand for video, and then box on the end because you watch videos on a box. Well, on a computer nowadays, but you used to watch them on a boxed shape television. So that is it, VizBox TV. It could have been VidsBox, but I decided to keep it as short as possible. Next one is Connor Turnbull. Question: how long did it take for you to break into mainstream YouTubing? How did you initially manage to gain views on videos for products that aren't necessarily a new device that people are searching for? Excellent question. I'm coming up to my 5th year on YouTube. I think it's October. I've been doing YouTube videos for 5 years, and when I first started there were a lot less tech reviewers, and I think the reason I gained popularity was because I did little cases and cameras, and that was interesting for people to watch, and I think I gained viewers purely by keeping consistent. So I gradually ramped up to doing more and more videos each week until I think perhaps for about the last year and a half I've been doing a video, at least one video, sometimes 2 videos every day. And I think it's that, just the continuity, so keeping things uploading at a regular schedule, that helps people look out for the videos. And you tell me why you think it's working for me. I mean, I've got lots of ideas, but I think it also works for me because I really like doing it. So I love sharing information. I love sitting here doing these Q&As, for example, and I just love sharing all of my sort of experience and what I find out about technology with you guys. So I hope that's why. That's why it's a success. Another one from Connor Turnbull. You used to live in New York. Yes, I did. 1993 to 1996. I lived in New York, in Queens. Really good experience. Dahlberg Productions, what are the specs on your Mac Pro? It's the base one of the late 2010 models, and it's a quad-core Mac Pro. Wish I could have afforded a higher spec one, but apparently new one's coming out soon. If I win the lottery, I might buy one. Next one is from Chucky Cheese Nuke. That is a cool YouTube name. Chucky Cheese Nuke. Great Q&A. Do you think the PlayStation Vita will be a success? Aren't they selling it for a lot less than it would take to make it because of the AMOLED screen? Or will they be making up the loss by selling tons of games? Well, normally these consoles either sell at a loss or at very little profit, and all of the games companies make their profit on the game sales and on licensing deals and things like that. With regards to PlayStation Vita, I think they're probably making a bit of profit on it. And do I think it's going to be a success? Well, previous Sony portables have not been a success, which is a big shame. But I think this one stands a chance. I absolutely love the look of the design. If they get the software right, the software delivery, and get lots of titles on it, then I think it will be. I'm going to get one in to review on Geekanoids, and I'm going to actually buy one and keep it because I want to give it a good chance, and then give you little snippets of updates of what software I download on it as well. So keep tuned, and I really do hope it's a success anyway, because I don't like the Nintendo 3DS that much. We tend to still play the 3DS, but we have it switched to 2D a lot of the time, which is a shame. What's this? Right, this is from Mr. Igor TV. Hope I got that right this time. Hi Dave, just to clarify, if you buy an iMac after the announcement, so now, do you get a free upgrade to Lion? I think it's a 30-day period. So I think when they've given us a release date, or when they give us an actual release date, if you buy 30 days before that date, then you'd get the free upgrade. Not 100% sure on that, but it's normally a 30-day time period. Right, M34N Puppy Dog. Love the videos. I have a question. How come the Verizon iPhone doesn't have an updated Geekanoids app? It says you need 4.3, but the Verizon runs iOS 4.2.8. How can I get the updated app? Well, I'm really sorry. The requirements of the Geekanoids app is iOS 4.3 or onwards. So I'm really sorry that you're missing out on the content there. It is all the same content, but it just brings it all together in one really nice user interface. So you're not missing out on any videos. Next one is from... Oh wow, this is a hard one. The Jaredism. Great video. What was the first mobile phone you've ever used? Oh my goodness. It was a Nokia. I know it was a Nokia. I really can't remember the actual model number. It was a Nokia that was the first one I owned. The first one I ever used, I think, was a Motorola, one that came with the big brick-type battery underneath and the handset on top. But the first one I can ever remember owning was a Nokia. Can't remember the model number. Really sorry, it was so long ago. Next one is from... Wow, okay, let's take this one. This is the last question actually on the video section. So this is the last one from the last Q&A video. First of all, I want to say you're the best guy I saw on YouTube making tech reviews. Excellent, thank you very much for that. My question, what do you think about the Galaxy S2 and why you didn't do a big review about it like you did with the HTC Desire? Do you think it's the best phone that ever came out until now? Right, reason I didn't do a big review is because I'd waited so long for the handset to come and a lot of coverage had already gone on YouTube, and I only had it for a limited time. So instead of doing like the unboxing and then all the stage videos that I normally do, it had to just be a lot more concise. Doesn't mean I didn't like it. Fantastic screen, fantastic processor, fantastic speed. The two things that sort of let me down on it was the flimsy battery cover, and yes, I know there's been videos showing people bending it in half and it doesn't snap, so it's very robust, but it just felt like it could have been made out of a better material. And the battery let me down as well. I used it with GPS on an 1.5 to 2 hour journey, and it almost ran the battery out. I can do the same thing on my iPhone 4, an hour and a half journey, and still have over half a battery left. Just saying. Do you think it's the best phone that ever came out until now? I think with regards to Android based handsets, the two best handsets are out now. Samsung Galaxy S2 if your priority is screen quality, HTC Sensation if your priority is build quality. The thing that the Galaxy S2 really had going for it as well was the weight. Super light, and even though it's a big screen device in your pocket, you didn't really even know it was there. So moving on to the questions I received via my iPhone app. Do you think Apple will get rid of the iPod Touch in favour of a cheaper iPhone like it's rumoured? Can't even get my words out. Like it's rumoured. That's from Diogo. No, I don't think they will. I think they'll always have an iPod Touch for those that want to just have an MP3 player or a media player and don't want to put a SIM card in it. So I think they would always have the iPod Touch range. Next one is from Victor. What's the specs of your Mac Pro? Already answered that. It's a quad-core, late 2010. Do you suggest getting a Mac Pro instead of an iMac if you're doing lots of video editing? The iMacs are fantastic performers. I think if you're doing lots of video editing, it's fine. Just be prepared to maybe buy an external hard drive to capture or render all of your videos to. I wouldn't recommend doing it to the internal hard drive, and that's just because of past experience. I like to be able to have a drive I can either move around or replace easily. The Mac Pro offers that because it's got the 4 bays, and what I do is I clone drives off and it keeps things running at a nice speed. So I hope that's sort of answered that question. The one and only. This is a funny one. Hi Dave, keep up the great work. Will do. My question is, if Steve Jobs got down on one knee and asked you to marry him, would you say yes or no? I would say yes, but only for about 6 months. Then I come back to my family. I kid. I just needed to answer that one. Next one is from Connor. What is your personal opinion on whether the iPad 3 will be coming out during the end of 2011? And do you feel this would lead to a new iPad being bought out every 6 months? Easy answer to that. Don't think it's going to happen. I think if they bought out an iPad 3 this year, people would be so annoyed. So annoyed. So I think it's going to be just on the yearly cycle rather than 6 monthly cycle. Daniel, Dave, are you a Beatles fan? No. Next one from E. Cartman. Hi Dave, do you know that the battery life on the iPad Touch is terrible with iOS 4 installed? Apple says you get about 4 hours of gameplay, but in my tests I get about 2 hours and 30 minutes. Do you think that future versions of the iPod Touch that get thinner and thinner will suffer worse battery life, considering that devices will have to cope with more features from the iOS? iOS 5 on my iPod Touch absolutely sucked. The battery went down so quickly. I think it's more to do not with the battery technology but with the iOS. So I think you're going to just have to be careful with what notifications you have switched on. I don't think that they'll ever put a worse battery or worse performing battery in new devices just to make them thinner. I think they'll always keep the battery or quoted battery life the same. Daniel, hi Dave, are you going to buy the new Final Cut Pro 10 to edit your videos and review it? I'm not going to review it I'm not a video editing expert. I know what I need to do to make my videos look good. I have purchased it and I think it's okay, but I think it should have been called Final Cut X and not Final Cut Pro X. That's all I'm going to say on it at the moment. A little bit too early really to pass any more judgment on that. Next one is from Nicholas. Great videos as always. Thank you very much. I was wondering if you know any programming languages. If so, could you do a series of tutorials on them? Unfortunately, I don't. I did try my hand at iOS developing, and I just couldn't get on with it. And I think I just didn't have enough time to dedicate to learning a programming language. So sorry, I cannot do that. And the last question is from Robert. Just a quick question. When did you get Apple's new iOS 5 on your iPod? I thought it was out in June. I got it the day, either the day it was announced or the day after it was announced. And yes, it is not out yet officially. So I had an early beta version of it. And it's still not out now. So I think it's out anytime towards the sort of late sort of summer, start of autumn. So yeah, I was just lucky enough to get a beta version on my iPod, and as I mentioned a very short while ago, it really drained the battery, but I love the features and I think it's going to be a big success. So thank you very much for listening to this Q&A session. It's been a little bit shorter this time. Hope I've answered as many questions as I can. If you do have new questions, pop them in the comments below on this video. Send them via email to geekanoids@gmail.com and just put Tech Q&A or Q&A session in the subject line, or you can send me a question via my iOS app. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all again in the next video.